We cannot hear Giovanni. Maybe you can write to check. Yeah, can you hear us? Okay, good. All right, I'm just gonna kick it off. In that case, welcome everybody. Welcome to those of you who are here in the studio of Gârden, who is doing the live stream for us. Also, welcome to the people watching this through that live stream at home. Today we will talk about the project ChoreoChroma, and we do that in the context of the HBS Fest here in Rotterdam. Quickly, ChoreoChroma is a interdisciplinary and international project combining dance, art, music, painting, video, photography, a lot of forms of art. My name is Meijer. I am your moderator today. If at any point you have any questions, just raise your hand or maybe type it through Zoom. Then you can have your questions answered straight away. Until that time, I will be the one asking questions. So today we are joined by 6 of the people behind the project. Next to me is Milana Kvas. She is the director of the Pavle Belanski Memorial Collection in Novi Sad in Serbia. She's also a curator and an art historian. And then we have Rhiannon Morgan, who is a choreographer and dancer and founder of Lucoda, co-founder, which is the Luxembourg collective of dance. The other co-founder couldn't make it, but he's here through Zoom. Giovanni, I hope you are well. Giovanni, Zazzera. Rhiannon,
yes.
Maybe to start with you, in 2 sentences, what is ChoreoChroma?
In 2 sentences. ChoreoChroma is a journey. It's an experience. It brings together multiple disciplines, so visual arts, music, dance, movement, painting, and combines all of these different disciplines to find a common language and a form of expression, a joint form of expression.
Okay, good. Thanks. Milana, anything to add?
Maybe to add that is multilateral coordination and cooperation between cultural heritage and all of these type of arts that Rhiannon mentioned. But also it is a project about education of young people with all these skills combined with the inspiration of cultural heritage.
Yes. We'll get to exactly what cultural heritage we are actually talking about. But first, the project originated as part of Tandem of the European Capital of Culture. Both of you are connected in one way or another to 2 of this year's European Capitals of Culture, Novi Sad and Esch in Luxembourg, and Novi Sad in Serbia. Milana, what is Tandem? Can you explain that?
Tandem is one European organization which connects the institutions and NGO organization to find out ways to make a project which will be further funding by other funds. So it is important to make some links between similar aims between 2 organizations. So before 4 years we made that tandem with Lucoda collective of dance. And we had a very good experience in that year. We traveled. I traveled in Luxembourg. Giovanni and Rhiannon came to Novi Sad. We invited Chantal Maquet to join us. After that, Ljubomir Nikolic, and more and more that group was bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And finally, we made this project alive.
Yeah, because Rhiannon, you were also there from pretty much the start, right?
Indeed, from the start. Though it's my colleague Giovanni Zazzera who was present in the first tandem meeting. Yeah. So that is really our starting point of this project, where we met, and as Milana explained, we had exchanges of us going to Novi Sad, Milana coming to Luxembourg to create the framework of what we wanted to do together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a very multidisciplinary performance piece. performances. But the starting point, as you said, is in the cultural heritage, and it's one specific painting in your collection. It's the Luncheon on the Grass by Sava Shumanovic from 1927. What is so special about this painting?
Well, we would like to connect two important projects in the year of European Capital of Culture, because we planned the exhibition about this author in European context. So I suggest that it could be a good idea to connect the dance and the performance, dance in performance in the opening part of that project of Sava Shumanovic, and Giovanni and Rhiannon liked this idea. So we choose one of the most important works of Sava Shumanovic, Luncheon on the Grass, which is the part of our collection of the Pavle Belanski Memorial Collection in Novi Sad. I can mention that it's a museum with collection of the first half of the 20th century. Beside that painting, we have also 8 paintings from this author, Sava Shumanovic, and the whole collection is 185 works of art from that period.
Yes.
So that work is something that summarizes important aspects of his artistic concepts, and also it was very important in the international level in that time. It was exhibited in the Paris Autumn Salon in the same year when it is created, and the Pavle Belanski take it for a collection at the beginning of the Second World War.
Yeah, thanks.
And this is also portrait of the artist in that painting.
It's the artist on the right.
Self-portrait, yes.
In September, you had the start of this exhibition. Earlier this year, there were many performances, exhibitions as part of this project. But you asked me to point out that there are 2 really main performances, right? So the first one we see a picture, I think, of it, or maybe the preparation of it.
Yes, preparation.
In Novi Sad at the Pavle Belanski collection.
Yes, in in the program of the Novi Sad Capital of Culture was created a few arches, program arches in all the year. One of them is the Future of Europe, dedicated to young people, and this is the very important point for this project, when the young dancers conducted with Rhiannon and Giovanni make the main part of this project in Novi Sad, because the part of the project in Novi Sad is mainly educational.
Yes.
And after that, in the end of September, was the program Arch Kaleidoscope of Culture, when the young artists made performance in the Gallery Square, because our museum is on the Gallery Square. There also exists 2 galleries, 3 galleries at all, and I think it's good to say that this place is a parking, but we want that that place would be place for cultural events. So all 3 galleries striving for that aim, and this is one of the possibilities to show the people that should be the place for art, and we made it with this project.
Great. Yeah. The performance in Luxembourg was quite different. It was a set on a stage. It was not with the young dancers.
Indeed.
Here. Can you tell something about that?
Indeed, because the whole ChoreoChroma project runs with 2 parallel strands. So we had the, let's say, professional strand, which was the project with professional artists, and the pedagogical strand, which was what we did in Novi Sad with the students and all what Milana has been explaining. So the performance in Esch was the coming together of video mapping, music, dance, and visual art for a performance made in a space that, for the capital of culture was redone because it's an old furnace. So Esch was an old industrial site. So they made a stage especially to host dance performances during this year. So it was in a furnace that was restaged for that. So that's where we showed the professional piece. Yeah. So the, let's say, traditional performance.
Yes, we actually have a short video, 2-minute video of this performance, where I think it takes some time to prepare it, but I think we're ready to go. Yeah. So here is the performance in Esch of ChoreoChroma. Wow, very nice. I'm joined by two new faces. The first one is Ljubomir Nikolic, the composer of the team, a composer based in Novi Sad. This music that we hear is music you composed. It's very beautiful, haunting. What do you feel when looking back at this video?
Yeah, I feel that we really made a lot of things. Since I joined the project, it was 3 years ago. So also I'm really interested in cultural heritage questions and topics, and very active in this kind of researching and project internationally. So it was, from the beginning, it was really a pleasant process. So it started. I met artists from Luxembourg, first Rhiannon and Giovanni. So it was very beginning, and after that everything is stopped. So yeah, that's the story. But yeah.
And when you say you like working with cultural heritage, did you know the painting before, or how was the process of?
Yeah, good topic, because I hadn't known much about painting, especially about memory collection, Pavle Belanski. So for me it was also interest topic to get into it as an artist and try to spread my vision about that, and make music and make a piece of art for this really specific project.
We're also joined by Chantal Maquet. She's an artist and painter based both in Luxembourg and in Hamburg. Chantal, this was quite the Gesamtkunstwerk, no? With all these different ingredients. we didn't see it in this fragment, but as part of the performance in Luxembourg or in Esch, you almost made a duet with one and then several dancers on stage, and you were also on stage yourself. How was it for you as a painter to be on stage?
Well, that was kind of an experience. It was a first timer, and I remember when Milana, Giovanni, and Rhiannon came to my studio 3 years ago. I was really happy to join the whole process, and I said to them, but I will not dance. So in the end I was on stage, and we still not agree if I dance or if I just moved from A to B, which is my version of the story.
Oh, it is movement, right?
Yes, I know. But yeah, no, you named it. It's a Gesamtkunstwerk. It really puts together everything, and everything forms together to create something new. And I feel also like a little bit I was often a translator, because to translate painting and how you work and perceive the world as a painter, how the process develops, and to find words for that are not limited to painting, but to translate it for other art forms, so that we find a common ground on which we can develop the process, our process.
How has that helped you, if it has helped you, maybe you, but maybe all three of you, in your view of art or in your artistic work? What do you take from this project onwards?
I think it always helps to, it's like with anything you learn, you realize that you really learned and internalized it when you are able to explain it to others in very simple words. And that's what happens. Like what I constantly do, I know these things, but to explain it is something that really helps you to get even more confident in what you do. So in that sense, yes, it helped there in my own work, yes.
How do you explain this?
Well, we need some piece of paper and we will start drawing.
Ljubomir?
Yeah, for me, it's process it's process, and it lasts. And from that process, I can give my best, and that's how I work. But also, each artist has to be, in my opinion, has to be curious. That's how it starts. So in that process, I am like a small child, which is willing to learn new things. And when I saw the concept, I very liked the concept, because of I know that the painting will be on the stage, but how can I transfer the painting in the music? So yes, that was done. We have some really good examples from history, like Schoenberg and Kandinsky did that. But now is new time, so we're trying to give some new ways to transfer all these disciplines in one in one piece.
Were there any difficulties with this as well?
Yeah, I think no difficulties, because art is communication. So you have to communicate in that. If you communicate well with your cooperators, so no any limits in my opinion. So no limits. Okay. Yeah. So that's the it's about communications and trust, and after that you can give it to the audience, and audience will trust in it, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Chantal? Any?
I can only agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe Milana?
Well, one of the main goals of our museum is to share the knowledge about the artworks from our collection. So we see in this process and in this project the new way to do that, and new interesting artistic way. And I think that we many of the with the reaction of the public, I think that we made it to fulfill that goal.
Yeah, I wasn't there at the performance, but I watched the video of it. Yes. There are quite some elements of the original painting that come back every now and then. Yes. In the performance, both visually and in movement. Do you think Sava Shumanovic would be proud of this, or what do you think?
I hope he see that from somewhere. Yes, well, we did a lot for this project and for this exhibition, which is open to the 4th of December. So we put his painting in the European context. We was very proud and excited, Jasmina and I, when were in Luxembourg last year and saw the reproduction of Sava Šumanović in Trasel, and many of the Luxembourgish people and from maybe other countries saw the Sava Šumanović. That we were very happy to acquaint the people with artists from our country.
Yeah,
that's the good result.
yeah. I think I had never heard of this painter myself before. If people happen to come to Novi Sad that might be watching this, until when can they still see the exhibition?
The exhibition is until the 4th of December, but in the permanent exhibition in our museum we have 9 artworks from this author, but many other very important sculptures and painters from that period.
The same,
so
the interwar.
Yes, interwar period, and they can enjoy, and they of those authors have an international reputation in the art of the 20th century, history of the 20th century.
Nice.
So it's an important collection here, in international level.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this was quite an interdisciplinary work, but it was also an international work. I imagine that maybe not. This is for you, maybe not the first time that you have worked in an international team. But what is the value of working like this?
It puts you through a lot of challenges that you wouldn't face when you stay in your hometown. I mean, we were working on this project during Corona, so I guess anyone can imagine how that everything even more difficult, because traveling was more difficult, the whole thing was more complicated. But beside all of this struggling of this complicated and traveling and so on, it also is like an exchange that you cannot find at home. Like you go into new waters and you find yourself there and you communicate on different level, and you find difficulties and you find also like good encounters, and this is that's the reason why you do this too. Because
I understood that you started working on the project and artistically as well without actually having seen the painting in its original form, right?
No, for me, like I agreed to work on the project, and then for me it started artistically when we traveled to Novi Sad. We met the students, and I also saw the painting. So that was the starting point, me seeing the work for me.
Yeah. Ljubomir, how was it as a Serbian artist working in this team?
I see this project like a new that I made a new artistic friends. So, and we trust in each other. We are all, I think, I could say that we are all really strong artistic personalities. But when we are striving to one goal, we are together in it, and we are doing our best to achieve that.
Yeah. This artistic friendship has already translated into a new collaboration. Am I right?
Yep. We can say.
We'll say it. Yeah.
So new collaboration is what is reborn from this journey. Is one. Also, let's say compositions, which is not one composition, which is 2 compositions. So we have one piece which is painted by Chantal, and one piece which is created by me. So the audience can hear that piece, called it ChoreoChroma. So I composed piece for this opportunity to be here in Rotterdam and present that piece. So that's also a really nice connection with Doylen Ensemble. So we played yesterday with them, and we are really excited about that. And I could say just really a lot of good words, and they are really high level artists. So, and the composition called ChoreoChroma is also about our topic about painting. So now Chantal has behind his back chamber ensemble. So he's a kind of conductor, actually. So we're just dealing with triggering ourselves. So sometimes Chantal leading us, sometimes we, Dolan ensemble, which I'm also took a part, like a player, leading her. So it's like really some kind of mixing, and so we have some inputs and we don't know outputs. So we performed piece five times yesterday, and every time it's a bit different. So it's the beauty of the process. So I call this all this journey one process for me. It's and it's most important for me to have this kind of process, and that process I can give my best.
Yeah. There will be 2 more performances tonight. For those of you who are here in Rotterdam, it's still to be seen
Yes.
only tonight.
Go to the HBS from 7 or from 9 tour.
Yes. Good. Chantal, it sounds like maybe a new artistic path, no?
Yeah, one could say that I discovered the performing arts this year. We were here since the beginning of the week, rehearsing together, so it is really nice after working with the dancers, now going through the whole process with the live musicians, because we didn't have the chance during the ChoreoChroma experience to have live musicians there doing our performance in Ash. So this is really a new experience, and it's really, like Lua said, it's nice when you have all these artists there in one room and everyone putting their artistic personality on the table to create something, and there's such a wonderful energy. And yeah, for me that's the child of ChoreoChroma now that we are here, and I'm really happy with this collaboration.
Yeah, I won't forget also to say big thanks to Martin Van Ben, a really nice conductor, really high-level professional. So, and he did an amazing thing to conduct us, and it was really amazing.
Yeah. Milana, you've watched this yesterday,
Yes.
am I right? Did you like it?
Yes, it is upgraded with that synergy of the music and drawing, and I am very happy that can see the ChoreoChroma is a process who give the opportunity to develop in different kind of project and arts, and I hope that methodology that we adapted from this project in Novi Sad could be continue with the dancers and the students in Novi Sad in some other form, but also to continue the collaboration between all these artists that are involved in this project.
Right. Thank you. Speaking about the dancers in Novi Sad, we have another video for you. We will see the site-specific work that was performed in April at the Pavle Belanski Memorial Collection. It's called The Schools of the Future, the product. It's made by Vidim Production, I have to mention them, as well as the foundation Novi Sad, European Capital of Culture, who was behind it.
Humans have always learned from each other. It's not only about age, like who is older, who has more knowledge. It's about the sharing process. So we made some experience, and we are here to share the experience that we have.
I think we are, as artists, here to share and share in equal.
Not somebody is on top or you are students, we are choreographers or dancers, but to create an environment where there is an exchange, where we can be with them, share with them, and enable them to see things differently, experience things differently, have questions, and be there to support them.
Mentoring, maybe it's more a sharing process, and because we learn a lot also from them, and they give us a lot, and we are inspired about them, and we can use what they give us to enrich this process.
like to... sorry?
Yeah.
I will join you.
Oh, yes, Guido will join us
yeah.
in a second. What was it like for you to work with this kind of next generation of dancers?
First of all, it was an immense pleasure. I think a big part of, for me, being an artist is how we transmit things to future generations. I mean, it's a process, how I learned, how the mentors or the inspirations I had that fed my journey, and for me it's something very important, this transmission. So working with these students was, first of all, a beautiful encounter. I mean, they're great, they were great, and engaging and wanting to really be part of it and learn and be curious and ask questions and want to be challenged. It was a very beautiful and precious encounter.
Yeah, great. We are joined yet again by two new faces. I will start with you, Jasmina. This is Jasmina Jaksic-Subic. She is an art historian and a senior curator at the Pavle Belanski Memorial Collection in Novi Sad. Many museums want to bring in young people into their collections. You did that quite literally. What did this add to the collection?
It added to the maybe new understandings of what we are having, like incorporating new ways of communicate our collection with the audience, and see how this collection can be inspiring for the artists and new generations as well, in different forms, and not just being a static museum and just to see the artworks that are there. We're having this type of collaborations with different art forms. We have museum theater already, etc. Now this is the first time that we really managed to see the collections through some choreography that was done by Rhiannon, Giovanni, and Chantal. Like they developed this opportunity to like see this collection differently and to share their knowledge with younger artists, and that's the whole goal.
Yeah. So there was a choreographed piece. It's a difficult word.
Yes.
Ironically, in a project called ChoreoChroma, I can't pronounce it. But the students themselves were also asked, right, to interpret, to actively work with these works.
Completely. They actually they choose the painting they like the most. They interpreted this piece with instruction conducted by the artists I mentioned, but this is their feelings, their emotions, their moves in these interpretations of the artworks. So somehow this whole concept was transferred to the new generations, and that's something that I'm really grateful to the artistic team, because I believe that it was easier even to them when they came back in September. The approach was already developed, and they already knew how to approach the new paintings. That's something that really is the outcome from our part. These young girls that are empowered to do something like that.
And you told me earlier that you wanted to kind of build a community with them, and you're still in contact with them,
yes,
right?
And I hope that we will remain in contact in the future, and maybe develop some new project that comes from them, maybe like something similar that they can develop within our framework.
Yes.
So that would be great. That's like a position that, because we are open museum for different generations, different art forms, so that can be one of the possible paths.
Nice, thank you.
Can I just add something
yes, of
on
course.
that? Just very short. I think one of the most beautiful moments in sharing with the students was how they after-fed our artistic process. So it was a dialogue between them and us, because we were creating this methodology with Chantal and with Giovanni, and having also their input fed our input after, so it was all part of one, which was very balanced and enriching, because we were able to also take our process further with Chantal and Giovanni because of them. So yeah.
So they effectively changed as well the performance in Esch.
Indeed,
Okay.
because we were all exploring together. I mean, ChoreoChroma really was the first attempt of how to bring all these forms together and how to create a methodology and how do we want to transmit our worlds together. So they were fundamental in this process, and thanks to them, the workshops we gave with Giovanni and Chantal, we could talk and see and discover, okay, how do you see it? And okay, maybe we use that, maybe we don't, but how to share it. Yeah.
Great. We're also joined by Guido Bosua. Guido is a photographer based here at the HBS in Rotterdam. He's also the founder of Stichting Bewegend Beeld, Moving Image, which is a partner in the project. So Guido, you were both involved in the organization of many things, like many of the artists actually were. But you were also maybe a bit a fly on the wall during this whole process. How was that for you?
That's a luxurious position to be there all the time and to see what is the moment. Or I think especially in the start we really were exploring together as the whole team. The moments they were working with youngsters or making the choreography, then I could step back and observe and make the pictures, because so I think the main task was to have this the whole process documented for all kind of social media reports, whatever you need, and next to that there was plenty of time to find my own creative way in how do I relate to the topic of movement and color and so it was a very nice position to be part when needed and also have the option to step out there.
Because maybe it's good to mention all of the pictures that we've seen up until now are pictures that are made by you.
Incredible pictures, yeah.
Before we maybe go into more of like the organizational stuff, how are your pictures inspired by maybe the movement or the interdisciplinary nature of the work that you've been doing?
So there were actually two strains. So I think 95% of the pictures were the documentary ones. So that was just what is happening. Okay, try to find a good image. But my own exploration or creative exploration was really so this is about color and movement, ChoreoChroma, or movement and color. How to do that with the camera. So I think, and also I started. I think the first period in Luxembourg, I was working analog with the blueprints and finding other ways to color things, to play with the phenomenon of color. But actually, when we were in Luxembourg, we were working in 3CL, which was a real black box, projecting. So the only light we had was the beamer, which was beaming Chantal's drawings on her iPad, and it was really a black box with a black wall and so little light to make pictures. So then I played with the shutter time, and I had very long exposures, and then you had movement already in the camera, and that I really like. So that was the beginning of to play with that actually.
Yes. The pictures can be seen at the HBS Fest.
Yes.
Here at the HBS. Maybe they will be here for a bit longer as well.
Probably.
This morning you did an evaluation of the whole project because it started already in 2019. So that's three years ago. What did you find? Can you a few things that struck you this morning?
Who's going to do that? It's been a long journey. I think that the word that I heard today is a journey. most of the time, and that on this timeline, I think that we all said those curves that we made as a part of our evaluation were like all going ups and downs. How we felt during this whole process since 2019, it was like really going up, down, and so many changes because of so many changes, different timelines, different. The goals somehow remain the same, but just in a different positions, and sometimes just after hearing all explanations, just kind of like the moment in 2022 when the whole implementation started. Actually, then it went on different roads because it has to be implemented somehow, and that's a completely a new way of approach. When you're planning something, that's one thing, but when you get into the organizational thing and that has to be provided somehow, then it's completely different. So those ups and downs, and those downs are like during this 2022. So that's like the impression, the main impression that I feel.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good to realize that this ChoreoChroma was a project supported by two ECOC. So it was Belval and it was Novi Sad 2022. So, and especially Novi Sad changed the whole year because of COVID. Instead of 21, it became 2022, and that had a big influence on the schedule of Lucoda because they were actually involved in 6 projects in Ash. So time-wise, everything was turned upside down. And I think for this cooperation, if it was only about the 3 partners and the composer, that was already quite a lot of work. But then also we had to fit in 2 organizations that were also shifting and the program, and so there were so many rewritings to get the thing that we wanted to make fit in the program that they want and fit in the program they want, and so that was quite a complex thing there going on for quite a long time.
I agree, but I think most of all, going back 3 years ago, I think I would have never imagined we would have reached all the things that we did, and I'm still digesting because the impact of this past year where we've really been active with our journeys to Novi Sad and creating the pieces there, and then the piece that we made in Belval. It was a lot, very compact, and for most, I think it's all a learning process. I mean, everything in life, nothing is a straight line. There is curves, there is ups, there are downs, and doing this evaluation this morning made me realize how all of us at different moments had different experiences, and it's what's part of being human. Now that we needed to arrive at a specific goal, because at the end of the day they are projects, they are funded, we need to arrive somewhere, of course influenced the creation process. And as Guido explained, with the capitals of culture changing and timetables changing, we had a lot of pressure this past year, and I think we can all be proud of ourselves because every single aspect of the project that we set out to do, we did. And to be here, and it has evolved now into Polychrome, the performance with the live written music composed for painting, it's continuing. So the seeds we planted 3 years ago can go on, and it's exciting to see that. Okay, what's next? Let's do it.
It struck me that there were quite some bumps in the road as well, and I think as you mentioned, there were so many changes, so many bad things happening for everybody in the last couple of years. And then, of course, I think you are all quite different organizations. Some have a more artistic view, some have a more organizational view, and then you're also small, or most of you are small organizations as well. What is the key thing that you've learned, maybe?
Communication, but that's a basic human tool. It's in everything. It's communication, and I think because we were speeded up in the process because of changes, that communication could have been, I think, a bit more consistent maybe, but with so many things happening, it was very hard to react, digest, think ahead. But yeah, communication, it's the ground for everything.
Communication, and don't take anything for granted. So your own framework of how you think the things are going, it is never sure that it's actually going that way, because these are the cultural differences, and the system in Serbia is a different system than we have here in this part of Europe. So the logic of things in your way of thinking, of how do you say it? It doesn't have to. So always check if this is, it's in my mind like this. Is this correct here, or does it work differently? That is, I think, the never rely on your own experiences there.
Yeah. Jasmina,
I can only agree with what they said. I mean, there are like we are. They are a collective of dance, then Guido's Stichting, and we are a state-funded museum. So this is completely on a different level of budgeting, of anything. And also they are still like young institutions, and we already have kind of a history that we have to. And this is kind of the logic of ECOC, of state, of this project to keep on going. That was a pretty a process for itself, where I learned a lot, and also I learned a lot from them. That's again in a course of. And that's something that I realized like after it. It's amazing how they can put their self into, like they had like a week to do something, not like the whole year or 3 years. Museums are slow institutions, and we used to go slowly, and now we have to because of. And there they are doing it like in a week, everything, and fine. But for me to support them in a way, I couldn't. In a way, they maybe expected, because of budgeting system. But that's the whole. But what also is really. I learned a lot about about our system, what is functioning, what is not functioning within our system. So that's something that I learned a lot from them, and a lot about us. Yeah. So that's the main for my experience. Yeah. That's my experience from this project, and I'm happy because of the growth.
Yeah, of course the project hasn't really ended yet. I mean, this is the final official part of the project. You said you first need a big reincarnation.
No, I said that I need several reincarnations. But that's just not. It's just when it's looking, as I said already. When you look backwards, when you see this whole journey, I mean, when you think that the pitch of the project was in December or November 2019, and then 2022 came. Yep. 2020 COVID year. Yeah. So it didn't start it already stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of the thing, and that we at the end made it somehow, as Rhiannon said, to check all the boxes even more than it was projected within this whole concept of the project, and these developments that we are hearing and seeing right now. And the most important thing, and I don't want to forget, just because probably this is the last time I'm talking, is that the most important part of every international cooperation or any cooperation are the people. And we had this beautiful team of really great artists communicating, and that we saw from the first moment, from August, I believe, 2021, how when they started working together. So beautiful people doing something together, and then again these young girls that are also kind of a
Get
team
inspired,
of get inspired by that. And this is something that is for me the biggest achievement of this project.
Great. What would you advise other organizations who want to, maybe also other small organizations who want to work internationally?
Oh, what would I advise? To give it time. Really, to give it time. It's a lot of steps to really put the groundwork in place, and if the groundwork is in place, I think we did everything simultaneously. So we had to get it all running and going, and we didn't give it the time to go one step, then the other, then solidify, because we were on a timeline. But yes, to give it time, and I think it's an incredible opportunity. I would have never thought of creating a piece or even collaborating with other people about a painting of a Serbian painter. I mean, international collaborations put you in that out of your comfort zone, and that's why they're so interesting and enriching, because you are doing something that you would have never thought of before, and meeting people and opening up new creative pathways. That's, I think that's, as an artist, it's part of the journey. So yeah, I would encourage people to do them, definitely, but to give time. Yeah.
Guido?
To give it time and to start with a small project, but maybe not a project at all, just start to learn each other and eat with each other and talk with each other, and then after half a year think, yeah, this is a good person, then think about a project and start to develop it, and step by step.
It's like taking them out on a date. You take
Yeah,
them on the first date, second date, third date.
Okay, let's do something small, and then okay, this works.
And then we marry.
We make a person.
Well, I mean, in every marriage there's like rocky ups and downs as well, but I think that's a really good analogy of working together. You need to know each other first. Maybe we have time for a final question. What is the value of that international work? The international aspect of it.
I think that I just answered previously.
But maybe for you.
One more time.
The value of this not just being a cooperation between different disciplines, but maybe the value of them being internationally.
But maybe I can answer.
No.
Okay, you will. No, just one thing. No, I'm sorry. No, just coming from. No, I'm just thinking, because I answered about the people. That's important. But from the position of a museum, I think that maybe it is a good thing to see our heritage from the perspective of someone who is not so much involved within the heritage. So artists or people who are not. Who don't know who is Sava Shumanovic. Yeah. So they don't have this type of fear, or I don't know. They're just doing something that is more open, maybe more creative in a way with that. So just to see the something that we already know, like a common knowledge, to be seen from the perspective of other well, internationals.
Yeah.
For me, but that's a very personal thing. I'm curious person, and I like to learn or to understand, to be. I start to yeah. Oh, sorry, this is a bit fake. When I was in my 20s, I think we had the war in Yugoslavia, and I saw it on television. And it was very far away, and now I was actually there. And being there with the people, trying to understand more what is this, or where are we, and why is Croatia Croatia and Serbia Serbia? Of course you can read, but it's something. So being there, talk to the people, find out they are also just normal people. I don't know, making contacts, but to be there opens your perspective to see the other sides, or to. And for me, that happens more in the one-to-one conversations with persons than seeing films or documentations. So that's why I like to have this traveling through Europe and realizing that you hardly know anything about the European history, or only the information that you get is always colored or very limited. Yeah. And,
Rhiannon, same question to you.
I'm going to take it, I think, more on an artistic level, because this was one of the driving forces for me and Giovanni when we got together for this project. We really wanted the dance and choreography and taking all these different art forms together could create a universal experience, and how different cultures we could come together and through art find a way to communicate. And I think this is the biggest asset of international collaborations, is that it's like a box where you put all these different ingredients and you find a way to mix and you find a way to come together. And this power of coming together is, especially now after Corona, now with the war in Ukraine, we all have this in ourselves to reach out to the other and get over our differences and make something beautiful, make something unique. And that's the power of art for me. And I think this is the value for this project, at least, was how we managed these different people, these different cultures to create something together. And it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, but let's get together and work together. And this together was very, very special, and that's the value for me.
Thank you. I think that's a great kind of note to end on. I can't see if there are any audience questions.
Shall I check?
But I think.
Shall I check the Zoom?
If you want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe Giovanni one.
Yeah. No, I was thinking the same.
Where are you?
So we are seeing if there are any questions. Giovanni, if you are still there, maybe you can have a final say.
Oh, well, the Zoom's gone.
Oh no, Giovanni is here.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry, I tried to understand everything, but I know the project and I think I understood a lot of things. But I don't know what to say. All my colleagues say, I think, everything about the essence, the collaborations, and the creative project, and also the sharing process with the students that was nourishing a lot the process of our artistic intentions. I don't know what to say more. I think that was everything said, and I don't have any questions, but if you have, I can answer it. But maybe for a question that you say, if somebody wants to try to do this kind of collaboration, I think it's something that artistically nourished, and it's important to create these bridges between communities, countries, and also artistic different medias, because I think diversity is important in arts and in our field. And yeah, this project gives us a lot of input for futures initiatives. Sorry, my English is really bad. But I think my colleague says a lot already, and I share the same same things with them.
Thank you. Thank you, Giovanni. I'm sorry you couldn't make it here physically today. Thank you also to all of our speakers, the ones still on the table and the ones that have already left. I also want to
Thank you.
My pleasure. I also want to thank Gârden for hosting us in their studio today. Gârden is for those of you who don't know, a live stream aimed at music performance as well. I want to thank the European Capitals of Culture, Esch and Novi Sad, and the ECOC tandem. And I want to also thank the audience that was listening in. For those of you who are here in Rotterdam, the works of Guido can be seen at the HBS Fest, also thanks to HBS Fest, by the way, as well as the documentary videos that were made during both the project, the performance in Esch and the site-specific performance in Novi Sad. And then the composition that Ljubomir made in collaboration with Chantal and the Doelen Ensemble will be played twice tonight. There will be 2 tours, one starting at 7 and one at 9. That was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.